Welcome if you're watching on YouTube. In one moment, there's going to be the link to join the meeting. If you're watching the replay of this happens every week on Thursday. Maybe we take a little bit of a break. I'm not sure. Oh, I don't want it to So again, these live streams are done completely on donation, and what you see in the YouTube chat box is the donation links. If you'd like to share anything, really supports me in continuing to share all that I do. And I thank you and hope that it returns to you infinitely and multiplies in abundance in your life in all the most beautiful ways. Thanks for joining, everybody. I am Dante Starshine. I channel the Pleiadian Council and as well do astrology and all sorts of different magical divination work to support people in getting to know themselves and finding their inner power and love. It's a beautiful thing to share with the world. So thanks for being here with me. And this is the weekly live stream channeling session with the Pleiadian Council. They're an interdimensional consciousness supporting our world in this process of ascension and open contact with extraterrestrial beings. This first wave is through channeling, and we're making it happen. So thanks for everybody for being here to open to this reality. In this session, if you keep yourself muted when you are not speaking, it is really appreciated. And we take everybody's questions one by one. So whenever the person before you is really finished, you can unmute, or maybe somebody, Bastiani might make a cue to keep things in order if the room gets to be really full. Also, you can type out the questions into the chat box or on Zoom or on YouTube, and we will get to those as well. I do private sessions as well, but I am going to be taking a break. The break is because I have channeled a book through the Pleiadian Council that describes, I would say, everything in life and our planetary process as well. It's kind of like a complete Pleiadian guidebook, and it's been a really amazing process to channel it, and now it has to be edited so that in maybe 6 weeks, on February 22nd, 222, we can launch this book and share it with the world. So be open and excited for that, and there will also be the ability to purchase all of the live channeled sessions that came together to make the book a reality. So I'm very excited about this and hope that it brings a lot to the world. I also offer a channeling course. I teach people to learn how to channel and as well work with many intuitive healing skills that help to kind of connect with your past or future lifetimes and tap into your guides and read and scan different energies for other people. As well as for yourself. So it's a self-healing journey and a journey into being of support for others. And so many people have changed and transformed and even began their own healing practices and work professionally with others after this program. Really amazing journey. And I set another launch for January 22nd. Nobody's signed up, but I also haven't pushed it because I've been so busy and haven't been feeling well. But in a couple of, we'll say in another month, maybe we can launch it. But basically, the program will start whenever I get like 3, 4, 5 people that give the full commitment and are ready to go on this 13-week journey. So if it calls to you, let me know. We can set up a free call to talk about it and to see if the program's right for you. And there's payment plans and everything available. So that, and yes, if you want a private session soon and you don't work with me on a regular basis, please book it in for a date before January 11th, because that's when I'm going to be taking a break to really edit this book and focus on it. And I think that's, if you like these channeling streams and you want to get notified whenever they happen, please go to my website, dantestarshine.com. there's a little pop-up window that takes you right to the email list that you can hop on. And every week I put an email out about this and anything new that's coming out, as well on Instagram, Dante Starshine, and Facebook, Dante Shante. I post many things, sometimes on Facebook, other things that are not about this, of course. But anyway, I'll shut up now because this is not about me. So unless I'm forgetting anything, I think we're good to go. Yeah, we're good to go.
Yeah. Great.
Okay, so I'll see you guys in a little while. Hello, and once again, it's a pleasure and honor to establish contact with you in your world at this time. As the Pleiadian Council, we speak on behalf of the Galactic Alliance and many of your own guides and soul counterparts working to assist your planet through this grand evolutionary process some of you call ascension. It is, again, a gift that you offer to us and a gift that we offer to you. It is an exchange that supports you and ourselves in expanding and connecting deeper with Source and all that is. So we thank you for allowing this to take place. Now, let us begin with a message that we hope to bring a wonderful start to your new year, 2022. We have spoken a bit about this year before, and now we, as this year has fully landed in the present, can truly tap into the frequency of what is taking place to outline for you some of the upcoming energies that you might be working with in your world and in your lives. We have called this year the year of union and separation. You may have heard from us and others at times that there is a process in your world of what some call bifurcation, of what some call the splitting of realities. And this is a process that is taking place and has been prophesized by many. You see this division in those who choose love and those who choose fear. The split is becoming larger and larger. It has to do with, yes, the regulations in place in your world and the willingness of so many to believe that so much of what is taking place is really in their best interest. So many of you who, yes, understand there are real threats to your health, but also understand there are greater threats to your sovereignty, experience challenge in these times as you are connected with so many who do not understand the bigger picture perspective on what is taking place. And this can cause you to feel grief. It can cause you to cover up your truth. It can cause you to be unsure of who you are and what your ultimate reality really is. So many of you have diluted your truth or tried to make connections where there is not connection. And thus, this is the time of separation. The two, as you experience in 2022, is connected to polarity and duality, as we have discussed before. And two means oftentimes two seeming different beings merge to become one and experience unified consciousness. And also at other times, two beings divide and go off on their own path. Just as the first cell that grows in the body divides into many. And in this way, when you separate from those things that no longer serve you, it really serves the process of the growth of all beings. But it may not feel like that in the exact moment. So this separation is happening between different realities. And those of you who choose to live in love and trust and true positive surrender will experience union with those who share your ideas, beliefs, values, perspectives, who can understand in their heart of hearts, as you say, what is really taking place and understand your experience. This process is a clarifying. As this bifurcation takes place, the underlying patterning and mental programming of every individual becomes clear. You start to see 2020 of 2020 vision has initiated. This deepening sight will increase, and you will come to see yourself and others for exactly who they are. And this must include then that when you do not agree or when you do not find that true resonance, that you allow this separation to take place. You allow for the letting go to take place. And this does not mean that you have to necessarily cut cords with individuals who are choosing the other reality. But what it does mean is that you have to be willing to come and to not try to find a middle wall that is forming between you. Energetic wall. This energetic wall is transparent in a sense, but it is still a barrier. You can see through it and love and not, yet at the same time, it separates and it confines you and others to go into your own perspective. This wall is not meant to be there forever. It is a temporary facet that will allow for, in a sense, your new world that is taking place in your love-based reality to grow and to prosper and to flourish in its own sense without taking on the toxicity of the fear-based reality. In order to not take on the toxicity and the heavy patterning of the old world, you have to allow this seemingly transparent wall to form, to stop letting the heavy fear-based energies from others come into your own experience. This will allow you to grow into yourself. It will allow you to find your path. It will allow you to, again, follow that formula of acting upon your highest passion to the best of your ability in every single moment, to the very best you can, yes, without insisting on outcomes. And through that, your energy and frequency will raise, and together as you experience the union with others of a like-minded heart, this will accelerate the process of creating your new world so that eventually it can, when those choosing the fear-based reality are so sick of it, essentially, literally, they can unify once again, and you can dissolve this invisible wall. And know that this process of separating and reunifying makes it such that when you let go of a connection and you go on your own paths and journeys, all of the love that still is exchanged between your realities seemingly divided will grow stronger. It will train your heart. It will train the heart of others. That when you then come back together in a completely new world, the love will be so much stronger and more real and palpable than it has ever been before. And so, while some of you may find this process uncomfortable, you can come to see from a grander perspective collective, that it is there for you to grow and to become stronger in yourself. And it will allow for a greater unification to take place. We have called this year again the year of union, and union is an easier frequency perhaps for you to integrate than this frequency of separation. Union allows for you to celebrate that now that things have become clear, those souls that really call to you can come deeper into your life, and you can find the love in connections, perhaps the mates, perhaps the friends, perhaps the roommates, perhaps the community of people online from around your world that really makes your heart feel in resonance and in wonder and content with your experience. For you are not truly capable of experiencing your highest potential on your own. You require the union with others to again understand the nature of this reality, that all is one. When you deepen into loving embrace with others, you get to experience that there's truly very little that actually separates you. When you get to remove all of the fear from your energy field, you will feel as if everything is seamless, everything is flowing. And what happens in one person happens in another. And as you come to understand this, and as you come to become so sensitive through this divine union, that you feel the collective field, but most importantly, you feel the immense love and bliss that awakens within you as you connect to those who have truly made the choice to be fully in their own love-based reality. It will allow your heart to open brilliantly, and it will make clear everything that has taken place and everything that has been. Because you may work so hard to follow the formula and to raise your frequency, but if you are still allowing fear-based energies to be felt around you and come into your field, you will have a weight that keeps reinforcing your own doubts. And so therefore it is very important that now you allow this to be a time of separation, because see that all of the attention and time that you give to those who choose fear is time and attention that you are not giving to those who choose love. And it will become very obvious to you the ways that you waste your energy and all of the potential of what could be when you make the choice to let things go. Letting things go may mean more solitude, but in that solitude, then you will have the time and space to let something new in. Do not fear your aloneness. Do not fear your emptiness, because you will have to sit in it and get comfortable in it for a time before the truer unions will come to be. One moment. All right, thank you. The channel much prefers these headphones. There is no more need to speak the other way aloud without them. Anyway, let us carry on. So there are two parts to this transmission. Because it is your year of two, you have been in the two, we thought we would offer two different ideas at the same time. And well, on that subject, let us remind you again that energy moves in cycles.
And so the cycle of 1 year is a cycle that shows you so much of the karmic lessons that you have learned. In some senses, it takes 1 year for all of those energies that you have put out and spoken into your world to return on to you. It is the time of the sun, and the sun is what illuminates. So after a year, you get to illuminate with clarity everything that has taken place the year before. So much now, there are also larger cycles of 10 years and cycles of 7 years and so on and so forth. We cannot speak about all of it right now. It is not relevant. Though, let us note the cycle of 100 years. 100 years ago, you went through the time of your 1920s. And this was a time of what you know in some parts of your world as the Great Depression, and a time of recovering from a great war, a time where there was a deep consciousness of scarcity, though this consciousness of scarcity then made the space for many new, freeing, empowering things to come to your world, for more care, for more progress, for more diligence, you could say. And so there's a renewal of this cycle, and you will continue to see this pattern of so many of those scarcity frequencies arise in this time. But now there are many different factors in place. We simply want to bring your attention to this as the energy, as it moves over 100 years, brings a certain frequency that inspires you to reenact those same patterns. And as it is in this vibration of the two, there is a certain challenge to the two, as it is the challenge you experience in these one-to-one connections where two people face each other. The two mirrors so much, and the two will often find that as one person takes one position or idea, the other embodies the opposite. There is a great attraction, yet there is simultaneously a great conflict. And in this same way, you can see the attraction and the conflict between the two differing realities that emerge. And between this transparent wall, so to speak, that is forming, you can witness the attraction that takes place between these different forces. Again, you will live concurrently with this wall in place, and this love that is exchanged between the two realities will come into being. So yes, you can exchange many ideas and much love between the wall, and it will continue to catalyze the process. What is one of the greatest differences between these two realities? Well, this is where we get into the next part of this transmission. It is the idea of positive and negative surrender. Now, those of you who have spiritual aspirations, whatever that means to you, have heard this idea of surrender again and again. Surrender to your higher power. Surrender your ego. What does all of this mean? Many people misinterpret this surrender. Many people mistake surrender for a giving up. Many people think that to surrender means that they simply accept everything and let life take them. But this is really not true surrender. This is not necessarily the negative idea of surrender, but it is certainly a giving up. True surrender is actually letting go of all of the control that you don't have, not the control that you do have. And so in order for you to truly be in real surrender, you must embrace that you do have control over your actions, over your thoughts, and over your beliefs, and over your words. You must recognize that you have the power to change, and you are your own master. You must recognize simultaneously all that you don't have control of. You certainly don't have control of all of the happenings over there, out there, in this world. You do not have control over other people, even your children, your lovers, your spouses, your family. You cannot control in any way. You can only inspire, influence, direct, encourage, and hope. And when you step into true union and you do offer a very love-based frequency, that influence you have can serve the highest interest of all. And it can feel as if you still don't have control, but you can have trust that other people will do their best to uphold love as you will do the same. And that feeling that you can truly trust in yourself and others is much more of a rewarding experience than the control that so many seek. And the difference will be one of the most palpable things, and it will be one of the most attractive forces between your reality and a fear-based reality. It will be something that you can show and inspire through that transparent wall. Now, negative control is totally based in fear. Negative control is totally based in the past or the future. Negative control sees that certain things happened a certain way before, and the mind projects that same occurrence into the future and attempts to make sure that regardless of what is happening here and now, that the future does not resemble the past or some fantasy that projects a nightmare out there into the world. Negative control is attempting to take control over the things that you cannot control. And because you actually don't have control, when you choose negative control, have to play many tricks to convince yourself and to convince others that you have that control, or that control is a good thing to give. Because so many people are very based in fear, they enjoy negative control to some extent. For example, some people feel so lonely and afraid. Their belief system says that they cannot make it on their own, that without the support of this specific individual offering them this specific thing, or this specific group of people offering them this specific thing, that they do not have the power of source and the power of love to carry them into their preferred reality. And therefore, in order to get the support from those specific people that they are very attached to, they are willing to let themselves be controlled and manipulated and told what to do just so that they are safe. You can see this in many family dynamics in many places in the world. Your world has been based in this way for some time. And there has been an evolutionary drive for independence, for all of you to come to see that you are individual creators of your own reality. Yet there is this pullback because your programming has been so fear-based, and so many people are still conditioned to believe that they must attempt to take this control. The manipulative governments are now playing this trick on many people, in which, in order to be safe, they must surrender their control over. And understand these individuals very well. This control is comforting to them. The leash around their neck makes them feel safe. It allows them to give away their sovereignty and their power and the ability to create their reality. And then whatever that controlling force is holding the leash can pull on it and direct them. And for them to not have a say and to let those who know make the choices for them brings a comfort. You can understand and remember perhaps times in your life where there was a grand crossroads and you had to make a choice. And that choice might have shaken you quite a lot. You didn't know where either road was going. Yet something within you, likely if you've made it to this point, awakened that force of passion and love that told you which path to take. And it brought you here eventually. But you can remember how much trepidation there was in that moment. So imagine then you had the choice for somebody to put a leash around your neck and force you to go one direction. Many people are given that opportunity and they take it because to own their power is not something they were ever taught to do. And so knowing this, you can awaken immense compassion within yourself, immense compassion for how deeply uncomfortable these people are, and how deeply they crave a sense of belonging, a sense of safety. And you can, through that transparent wall, show them what it means to rip off the leash and say, only I have a choice, not my spouse, not my children, not my mother, not my father, not my government, certainly. Not even my guides, certainly not my guides. And you can see that many religions where they play the same game out, thinking that their God or their gods or their priests or someone above them is there for them to tell them what's right. Their guru, that one's very popular with many of you. Yes, listen to the guru. The guru will tell you what to do. And this is not based in love at all. This is negative surrender. This is choosing to give your power away because it helps you to feel safe and comfortable. And what you must make clear to others is that this is not true safety. This is not true comfort. It is actually the most unsafe thing that you can do, because when you do this, you totally disconnect yourself from your own intuition, your own heart's passion, your own soul's journey, carrying you into your inevitable destiny and your evolution, of course, because destiny is not anything other than a probable outcome, of which there are infinite probable outcomes and infinite destinies. But we say this destined as in there is one potential predestined pathway for you that awakens this greatest union with source and this greatest embodiment of passion and love for you. And this is only awakened by living in the present in your love and knowing that you alone decide and others can reflect to you so many truths. The truest loves with which you will experience union only reflect to you the truth within your heart. So you can notice almost anyone who does something other than reflecting to you what you know inside yourself, but have not yet been able to own. is in some way in this fear-based reality. And they want to assuage your fear rather than inspire you to face your fear, inspire you to know at that crossroads that only you know which path to take. And that is again why the formula is the most important thing. And all of the things that we say all come back to this, and all of the things that any channel being say ought to come back to this in some language, if it is really the higher truth. That is, again, act on your passion to the best you can without insistence on an outcome. Let the feeling of love within you be your only guide, and really do absolutely everything you can without giving up for a moment, and surrender the control that you do not have. That is another way of saying, let go of your insistence on the outcome. Acknowledge the control that you don't have so that you can come to know the control that you do have. And when you do that, no one else can take control of you. And you will not feel any temptation any longer to engage in those relationships that will inspire that level of control. So if you want to seek what to separate from at this time, it is that. It is any engagement that feels as if you are obliged to do something or something bad might come. Let yourself be fully free and fully inspired to do everything you do based in love and your own sense of freedom, your own sense of owning the way your intuition is directing you to exactly the right things and exactly the right time, again and again. So we thank you for allowing this transmission to take place. We thank you for hearing these words, taking in these truths, taking in these ideas, so that you can, in your own way, light up the path of joy, following your passion, and showing again through that transparent wall that union is possible. And eventually, as you accept and embrace the separation, the union between realities will take place after some time. And you can continue deeper at this wondrous timeline of ascension, of open contact, and many other phenomena, all of which you will see an increase of in this year 2022. Know that this is the year that really puts things into perspective. And know that what we have talked about this separation, this bifurcation between realities, has already taken place. This is not something that is going to happen. This is something that has happened. So instead of seeing this as a process that's ongoing, see it as a realization that is solidifying within your understanding. The world has now bifurcated. The world is now separated. And this will allow you to be all the more inspired to anchor yourself in your preferred reality and not look out at that through that transparent wall, thinking as if you might miss something or do something wrong. Our thanks to you again, and now we ask, how can we be of assistance to you today? With your personal questions, inquiries, and musings.
Hello.
Hello.
I would like to ask, how do you see or how do you predict the status of the economy? How the inflation will go on and how the crypto markets will be doing?
Oh, well, if you have any attachments to that, you better let go of them soon. Meaning it will crash this year. More. Crypto will be less affected than the other sorts of economies. It will happen gradually over time. You will notice that it will take place in this order: Chinese currency, the European currency, the US currency, and then everything will have this sort of collapse, as it is barely held together in the first place.
Is there any technology or any future that will be taking place of current economy?
The blockchain technologies is a phase of your evolution that will as well prevent many of you from experiencing the intensity of these inflations if you make the right choices at the right times. So also, these are times of immense uncertainty, and that is, in a sense, some level of positive surrender you can embrace, is that there will be different ways that you can experience abundance. There will be different ways that you can experience wealth. And when things, again, are out of your control, all that you can do is surrender and trust. And of course, you can do the best that you personally can to make the right choices with your worth and your investments. But in the end, many different things can happen.
Will the financial markets or crash of the financial market influence also the real economy and unemployment rates?
Yes.
How much?
And so, a lot. Though this will also, again, bring more of this sort of revolution in your world, in a sense, as again, when there is greater need and people cannot rely on old ways of doing things, then there will be a greater voice compelling for forward momentum in this and other areas. So many different countries will start to experience sorts of revolutions or upheavals, and many others will start to implement universal basic income, and everyone who bases themselves in love will be fine, because again, love unites you with others who can support you in a variety of ways. And when you again live your life in this love-based energy, you are living through a connective frequency. And the fundamental nature of humans is to love and to care and to unite, because that is the fundamental nature of the universe. This negative force exists within you as well. And again, that will be more predominant in the fear-based reality. You can see as well that in fear-based realities, competitiveness and aggressions and senseless upheaval can take place in some parts of the world as well. But again, the destruction will only impact those who choose to live through that fear-based lens.
Hello,
Hello, yes.
can I go ahead?
Yes.
So you mean we have to keep calm and stay in the present moment, and we will meet every needs, and we have to keep calm during this period.
Yes. But also don't forget the formula: act on your passion to the very best you can. without insisting on the outcome. So don't forget those first two parts as well. You will be inspired to take many actions. You will be inspired by many opportunities that arise for you to experience your passion or for you to generate great abundance for yourself. So let that carry you forward as well.
Yes, 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 I understand. I am try to each time I meet you, guys, I process what you say, and it's I think I am making some progress, but it's slow because each time I feel some high excitement. I sense the wall of duty, so it's a work for me to do. I am doing better, so thank you for your help. Last time you said I was mutating. What does that mean? You mean mutating in like X-Men, or like mutating like frequency, spirituality? What was your meaning, please?
Well, all of you are mutating all the time. Mutations happen every moment, really. It is occurring more quickly in your genes now. And it is simply as you shift certain vibrational patterns and thought forms, everything in your genome also changes. So whenever you start to make different decisions or see things from different ways, that is, yes, enabling mutations to take place. So we do mean it at both a genetic level and at a psycho-spiritual level, that you are mutating and you are becoming much more based in love as a whole, those of you who choose that rather, and this will enable you much quicker to return to a neutral balanced state of being very quickly. And also remember that this will have impacts on others. As your energetic field changes as well, your aura will become a neutralizing field. So wherever you go, you will have a neutralizing impact on those that you connect with, even from afar.
Okay, quickly, I notice we age slower than the time is running more faster. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay, so I have a last question. I don't know if I am allowed, but you will say to me, do you have any message from me for my guides for this year and for my successes, please?
Learn to live in the real presence of this moment more. Learn to witness your fantasies and derive joy from them. Enjoy your fantasies, but realize there's a difference between fantasies and the present moment reality. So instead of living for fantasies, allow yourself to derive joy from your fantasies and ask, how can some similar energy come into your field from that fantasy and into the present moment?
Okay, it seems complicated. Thank you so much for your help. Thank you.
It is not that complicated. What we are saying in more simple terms is that many times you might have dreams of things that happen in the future, or dreams of what could be. And you need to remember that this dream is not the present moment reality. So you can take aspects of those dreams and live them now. You can feel the joy that those dreams bring you, but remember to make your joy something tangible and present in the moment. And this will allow you to be more accurate in following the formula.
Okay, thank you so much. And I wish for everybody a great year.
Oh, and our thanks and love to you as well. Wishes for a very wonderful year, as this will be one of the most exciting you've ever experienced.
Hello, Pleiadian Council.
Hello, yes. Welcome.
Thank you. I remember the first question someone asked about the economy this year, and you were saying it will crash. My parents passed away and I received an inheritance, and I would like to protect that and help it grow, and so it will serve me in my life. And I'm wondering if you have any suggestions for how I can best do that.
Well, the best things to have at these times would be real estate, gold and silver, and cryptocurrencies.
I just sold my parents' house, and is there a timing, like, you know, wait for the market to go down, or just buy what I can at any time?
Follow your passion. If there's a certain place that you would like to live in, a certain home that calls to you, that can be a wonderful thing to choose.
Yes. And do you have a special message for me, you know, from you or from my guides for this year? For this time, I'm preparing to go to California to be near friends and family. I haven't left yet. I'm just tying up some loose ends here. And, you know, as I'm embarking on this new life, any messages for me that would be helpful? Thank you.
If there's one frequency that you can master, is simplicity. The frequency that will change your life the most is simplicity. It is being able to derive joy in the simple things and being thankful for all of the wonder that your life holds, and looking at all of your blessings as opportunities to experience joy, wonder, and pleasure that will change your life the most. The opposite of simplicity is complexity, and that is the foundation of attachment. So there are many ways that your mind latches onto outcomes and latches onto fantasies and latches onto stories. And this is what robs you from your ability to be anchored in the present. And that is also what leads to challenges with health, challenges with sleep, and challenges with relationships. So the more that you learn to master the power of simplicity, the easier and more joyful your life will become.
I hear you saying simplicity is just appreciating the simple things. Any other tips for being in simplicity more and more?
Appreciating the simple things, yes, appreciating your passions, being anchored in your passions, realizing that if something brings you to feel joy, that is one of the most important things you could experience and do with your time and energy. But instead, sometimes you don't choose what brings you joy, you choose what brings you obsession. And you have to learn the difference between the two energies. You have to look at the beliefs that make obsession seem right and correct. Why would that serve you? How has that ever served you? Once that becomes clear and you can recognize there is absolutely no use to this frequency, there's absolutely no use to this behavior, this is a self-sabotage, it will become easier to let it go. And then you will find greater appreciation for appreciation. You will find greater celebration of simplicity, and happiness can become your predominant frequency rather than preoccupation.
So preoccupation and obsession and worry. I was just
Yes.
trying to understand what examples, like how that is playing out in my life.
You know, or otherwise we wouldn't say it.
Okay. So just trying to calm that and refocus into something
Yes.
basic.
Life is meant to be a celebration. It is meant to be a divine orchestra of pleasure and joy. Anything that makes it seem otherwise is not the truth. It is a lie. So look
Yes.
at the inner lies that you tell yourself, and they do create frequencies you would describe as preoccupation and obsession.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. Do you have any other messages for me today?
That would be all.
Thank you so much, Pleiadian Council.
Thanks to you as well.
Blessings.
Bendiciones.
Can I go?
Yes.
Hello. Greetings,
Hello.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Welcome. Thanks to you.
Apropos the simplicity, I was wondering, for example, on one side, I really want to live a very simple and fulfilling life. And on the other hand, I have a ton of things that I know that I can do to improve the situation in the world at many levels. And I
All
was
right.
wondering which would be more important. For example, if my heart pulls me to work on a channel about, on a video channel about relationships and sexuality. And on another side, I know a ton of things about social politics and things like that, which would be much more complicated to put into action and into opera. And I was wondering, in what direction should I ideally focus during these times?
Which of these things excites you the most?
So the things that, let's say, are more socio-politically based, I very much know that they can make a huge difference in the world and can improve very much the situation in the world, but they don't excite me as much as the other things, smaller things and simpler things. So again, I'm asking you, what's the metaphysical subtlety here? What's really going on in this sense? Should I go for the things that I know that can make a huge difference in the world, or the things that my heart pulls them?
Well, if something doesn't make a huge difference in your world, it doesn't make a huge difference in the world.
They will make a huge difference in...
Again, if something does not make a huge difference in your world, your personal reality, it cannot make a big difference in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So all of the people that were the biggest change makers did it and were able to do it because it was their genuine passion.
It is, in a sense, I'm very polymath, very Renaissance man. But it's a difference in the quality and the level of passion.
Yes, so...
And simplicity.
But again, the formula is acting on your highest excitement, not something that excites you. So if you're not acting on your highest excitement, you're not following the formula.
Yes,
do you understand? So
yeah.
If you are asking, can I not follow the formula because I want to make an impact? That's basically what you're saying to us.
Yes, yes.
So you can't, because that isn't following the formula.
Okay, okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
And a second question on internal parasites. Do we have to periodically cleanse ourselves, and some ideal plans to do these? Because I know that most of the people have parasites.
It depends on your diet. Depends on where you live in the world and your diet, really.
Mm-hmm. And some plans, because I have a hunch that I might have some simple regimens. Have any suggestions?
For example, black walnut, clove, golden seal, turmeric, ginger, garlic, onion, all together for a period of time can be a powerful internal cleanse, as well as MMS. Together, this can cleanse out your system of any such parasites.
All of them together with MMS? Well, sorry?
Look and see if one of them has a negative impact on your system individually, and don't include that one if it does.
And MMS, the chloride, aka the miracle mineral, that thing?
Yes, that also cleanses parasites.
Mm-hmm.
But also following this, do take extra caution to make sure that you take pre and probiotics.
Okay, okay. And another short question, if I may. Considering that I know for a fact that each individual has an infinite of versions because all our mirrors are perfect at all times. And we get that version of the individual that serves us the most, right?
Yes.
Considering that I met a person that I was very compatible with in all possible aspects, and I wasn't really prepared at that time to have a relationship. And I consider myself right now, I am prepared, but that person is already in a relationship that I'm very sure that doesn't fulfill her, not even 10% of how much I would be able to offer. And I was wondering if there's any way that I can, if I can do something metaphysically, let's say, in order to attract that kind of reality without inflicting any sort of negative things towards the other, because I know that everyone has part of his own dream, and I'm not affecting anyone.
Well, metaphysically, energetically, you can send her unconditional love, and that would be the only thing at that level that would serve a purpose. The most beneficial thing to do would be to have conversations with her and let her know your truth.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And anything else besides sending love, imagining a relationship or anything like that? Imagining that relationship would be
Yes, you can imagine that.
With emotion,
yes.
would be of a benefit, yes?
Yes, it can help you get into the right frequency. And again, from that frequency, when you express your truth from a place of deep love and admiration, it can have a deep impact.
I see. I'm doing that already. So thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thanks to you as well.
As best. Thanks.
Hello again. Some time
Let
ago,
us allow for somebody else who has not yet asked a question. And once we get through everybody, there will be the time for second questions.
Okay.
Hello, perhaps I could ask a question?
Yes.
Hello, nice to be talking again.
Yes.
My family is spread around the world. I have family in Cambodia, family in England. I'm in Italy, but I'm wondering about leaving Italy. Can you just tell me about different places in the world? Because we have some news that Italy may not be such a good place to be in at the moment. Do you see, how do you see the different places in the world at the moment?
All will be varying levels of their own sort of crazy.
I've been hearing that Mexico's a pretty cool place to be. I'm wondering whether to just take a holiday in Mexico.
Yes, Mexico remains one of the places with the least regulations.
Okay, should I be worried?
A much more lawless place, and in this sense, it offers a high frequency energy, as well as there being many sorts of other challenges involved, but many, yes, who are choosing to be in this more love-based reality are finding this to be the place for them.
Yes, I got that feeling. Is my family safe in Cambodia, or should I tell them to hurry back?
Well, they are not in danger as in a threat to their lives. They are in potential danger as a threat to their freedom or being around certain low frequency energies. But you can encourage them to do anything that you feel is right for you and for them, to join you in Mexico if you'd like, yes. But remember, you cannot control them.
Yes, I don't, because of education, I don't think Mexico's on the cards for the children.
All right.
It's between, I mean, Italy and Cambodia at the moment.
All right. Well, between the two, you can anticipate similar sorts of realities.
Yes. Okay.
So it is a matter of their own preference.
Yes. Okay, thank you very much.
Yes, sir, thanks to you.
Hello, beautiful friends.
Hello, yes, welcome.
Thank you for this interaction. Today, I would like to ask you if you have any messages for me in order to streamline myself, maybe from my guides.
Are you acting on your passion to the best you can without insisting on outcomes?
I'm doing my best.
All right. And what challenge might be arising now?
These days, I'm having challenges to feel streamlined, to feel centered and in alignment to do whatever in my everyday life.
So what belief is pulling you out of your center? Are you doubting yourself? Are you doubting others?
I think it's doubting myself.
All right. So do you accept and embrace that you are simply an aspect of all that is, as everyone else is? You are a microcosm of all that is.
I have heard this many times, but
Do you
I
accept and embrace that?
I'm not sure I understand this in
All
my
right.
heart.
So everything is one thing. All is one and the one is an all. And in this reality, you all are microcosms of your entire world. You may seem separate and individual. You are individual. You are not separate. You all carry the codes of the same archetypes and stories that you have been taught that translate in different ways, creating many different expressions. Yet at the core, it is this experience of a contrast between dark and light. And this contrast between dark and light is really love. There is love and there is attraction between dark and light. Yet at the same time, this has been distorted into a war between dark and light. But that itself is based in illusion, because dark and light need each other for one to exist. And so what is happening within you is that as an aspect of all that is, you have internalized this story of the battle between the dark and the light. And you are carrying this battle within you, but you do not need to. And if you embrace that you are an aspect of all that is, and you embrace that all that is dark and it is light, then you can embrace everything that you experience within yourself. And instead of attempting to defeat the darkness with light, you can allow the darkness and the light to make love to each other within you. And this will be the end of mental suffering.
Thank you so much from all my heart. Much love and blessings.
Our thanks and love to you as well.
Barbara?
Hello, Palladian Council.
Hello.
Nice to meet you again.
Yes, it is our pleasure.
I have some similar questions to what other people have been asking.
All right.
Yeah.
Let us just say, speak in code.
Speak in code. I don't
Yes.
understand. So yes, similar things. We've been having very bad news in Italy about our rights as unvaccinated people and what
Stop
might.
that word at this time. That is what we mean in speaking in code.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Okay, so
Yes.
we have bad news about our rights, and it's not for sure that it's for real, but it's very worrying. And so I've also been thinking about leaving if that happens. And I already started looking into this last year about where to go and what to do, but couldn't find a solution. And now we are in 2022. And so it's all very troubling at so many levels. So many people's lives are being destroyed, really. So I was just wondering if you have any message for me. Thank you.
Is there some place you would like to go?
I have a couple of places in mind, but I'm not sure whether it would be better. So France, Spain, Costa Rica, and Mexico, and Florida. But I don't think I can get into Florida.
All right.
Thank you.
Well, you can always try to apply for immigration form to many places. And then if you don't get it, then check it off the list. Of these options, the best would be Spain, Mexico, or Costa Rica. Mexico or Costa Rica being the lighter of the three. Spain being slightly easier than where you're at, but also not perfect.
No. Yes.
Have you considered Portugal?
No, because I've heard that Portugal, there's a lot of issues there too. I have a friend who's,
Such as?
well, I think it's quite similar to what's happening here, but I'm not 100% sure.
All right. Look into it.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks a lot.
Yes. And
go ahead.
you may find great solace in Costa Rica or in Mexico. Look into the options, see what resonates for you, see what calls to you, and be prepared to take a plunge. Trust that sometimes when things do not go the way that you anticipated, there is something better for you.
Yeah, well, I certainly hope so, for not just for me. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Our thanks and love to you as well.
Thank you.
Hi, Palladian Council.
Hello, yes, welcome.
Thank you very much for this beautiful transmission, and also Happy New Year.
Oh, and to you as well.
Thank you very much. Today, I do not have a specific question that I would like to ask, but I would like to know whether I have any, you could tell me something specific for me, from my guides, or maybe from my Asasani guide, Dream Wheel, or something like this. I'll be very grateful.
Again, are you following that formula?
As much as I can. And while I'm
what
following it,
yes,
I am passing through kind of space and time of releasing negative beliefs. It's happening that from time to time I'm even angry and happy at the same time. I cannot even explain how this is happening.
Yes, that is a wonderful phenomena, because when you are able to experience both joy and one of these more fear-based emotions like anger, it means that there is a growing belief that is overpowering the negative beliefs. It means that you are undoing and you are seeing through the lower frequency energies. And most importantly, this happens when you release resistance. It happens when you stop trying to make the process of these lower emotions wrong and trying to get them out of your system. Instead, you accept them, and that acceptance allows for the positive to grow and become stronger and become more active within you. So pay particular attention to these moments and celebrate them, because these are the moments in which the greatest transmutation is happening. And if you can become aware of what perspective you are holding at the time that this takes place and go deeper into that perspective, anchor it into your being, then you can become impervious to, invulnerable to any of the lower frequency energies or beliefs within you.
Thank you so much for your guidance. My unconditional love to you.
Oh, our unconditional love to you as well.
Hello again. I believe
Hello,
I may
yes.
speak now.
Yes.
My next question is about AI, artificial
All right.
intelligence. Bashar has predicted that it should, in some time, serve us as a connection to our higher minds. So
Yes.
I would like to know how far we are from this goal.
Nothing more than a couple of years out, really.
Okay, and can you say who has the most advanced AI technology? What company?
We cannot disclose that information at this time, but it is not actually what you consider a company. Hint.
Because lately I came through Charles Simon, who is developing future AI, and I very like his approach. Can you tell me how advanced is his knowledge?
Well, it's as advanced as it is. To what are we
Simply-
comparing it?
To others, like OpenAI and such.
This is not
initiatives.
our realm of greatest interest or expertise.
Okay. Last question. How can I improve my self-worth?
Do you understand that you are a part of all that is?
Yes.
And every part of all that is has a fundamental right to its own existence.
Yes.
And therefore, you are worthy of every potential thing you could desire, or not desire as much as need.
Yes.
So if you fundamentally deserve everything you need, then every idea that says you are not worthy is an immense lie. So you have to learn to recognize the lies that you tell yourself inside and recognize where these come from. This unraveling of self-worth is an unraveling of all of the conditioning of your world. Your world robs you of your self-worth as a way to control you. Your parents used this validation as a means to direct you on certain pathways. Other people in society follow the subliminal programming of those hierarchical forces to bring you to behave in certain ways to claim your worth. But all of this is, again, acts of control and domination. So understand that claiming your self-worth and owning that you are worthy and you fundamentally have a right and a deserving to everything that you need is the biggest act of rebellion and self-love in the world. And you can celebrate it as what the real revolution ultimately is about. So again, recognize whenever you feel as if you are not worthy of something, first of all, that I fundamentally need this thing that I am being drawn to. If you did not need it, you would not be drawn in that direction. There are some instances in which you are drawn and attracted to something that you do not need, but that you want. But a want is always a replacement for a need. It is the seeking of something that is a distorted need. So come back to your fundamental needs again to help remind yourself that if you have all of these needs, you will thrive. Recognize that your thriving is part of all that is thriving, and it fundamentally needs to happen for all that is to be complete. So in recognizing this, you break through all of the potential thoughts and beliefs that would say that you are selfish for having needs, and then come to understand that if you really need it, it is meant to be yours.
So if I wish or I'm deserving something and I would like to do something and I don't have finances for that, that means that I don't need it?
No, it means that you don't have the finances.
Okay, so it's up to me to find a different way to get it?
Yes, but finding that different way requires that you embrace that you need it. And perhaps there are different examples of this. For example, you might need a way of getting around. And you might think that you need this certain special new car, but you can't afford it. And it is not exciting for you to work any jobs that would bring you that money. So instead of needing that car, you might realize that you can live with a bicycle, and that the bicycle is the truest path of least resistance that allows you to follow the formula and still do the things you actually need to do. So there are many examples in which many of you, through your conditioning and your beliefs, think that you need something that you really just want. And so first of all, you have to go through that process to see, do I need this or do I want this? And then when you really discern, do I really need this? Then accept and embrace that you need it. And if you need it, it is meant to be yours.
So is there any hint how to discern between wanting and needing?
Well, remember what your fundamental needs are. They are for air, for water, for sleep, for food, for shelter, for relationship, and for self-expression. So they are quite a bit more simple. But these needs for self-expression in a relationship are very complex. You know that you need something if it excites you. If it awakens this feeling of passion in you, then that is exactly what life is directing you towards, and your intuition is directing you towards. However, if you cannot actually reach it, there might be something similar that is just as exciting for you, but a belief is in the way of you really seeing. So you have to, again, be more broad in your scope. Make sure that there are no beliefs that are in place that are acting like blinders for you.
Okay, so it all comes down to a beliefs mechanism, right?
Yes. And Again, the self-worth has to do with looking at what beliefs tell you you are not worthy. Where do they come from? Who put them there? And why do you think it serves you to have these beliefs? Many times people think that it serves you to have negative beliefs regarding self-worth and image because it forces them to work harder. But again, working harder does not mean that you will get solutions. It is not about effort. It is about passion and about clear sight and willingness. Those are the first steps of the formula. Acting on your passion. So really doing what fills you with the most love out of all things possible, to the best of your ability, having clear discernment, using all of your resources, and having willingness to persist.
Okay, thank you very much. Is there any message I need to hear now?
That was the message.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes, thanks to you as well.
Thank you so much, Palladian Council, for this beautiful transmission.
Oh, well, thanks to you.
Thank you. I have a question, kind of a follow-up to something you were talking about earlier about hanging on to stories and simplicity in our life. And I'm curious about your insights and perspective about how to navigate indigenous stories and ancient wisdoms and moving that into the future and applying that to going forward and the now, while keeping things simple, but not hanging on to stories as you were mentioning earlier. Thank you.
Well, the stories that are negative are stories that rob you of your power. So this is not the case with so many of these indigenous stories. These are instead stories of discovering power. So you have to know the difference.
Yes, okay.
What impact does the story have on you? Because stories are not bad. Stories serve you, otherwise you wouldn't use them.
Yes, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. That resonates because often many indigenous stories strike a very deep chord and draw up a lot of emotion and clear a lot of emotion. So
yes,
thank you for that clarity. Thank you.
And the difference between those experiences and the stories that your society tells you is very different. Yes, your society and tells you that you have to look a certain way, do a certain thing with your life, spend a certain amount of time doing this, give your resources to this or that, protect yourself from this or that.
Yes.
You see?
Yes, I do. Thank you.
And there's also many other stories of false happiness. There's the prescribed story of what it means to be a happy and good person. And many people fall for this story, though recognize that this story does not inspire that same deep sentiment in you. Instead, it inspires a feeling of obligation. It inspires, again, exactly that feeling of a lack of self-worth. That if I do not live according to this narrative prescribed to me, then I am not worthy, I am not like others. And people govern themselves through these stories that they learn. So the indigenous that you work with never told those stories. Yes. In their world, it was perfectly okay to just be. Work happened when it needed to happen. Work happened according to the skill of the individual. And everything happened in its own time and space. But in your world, There's nothing about that because it is about control fundamentally. This society that has been built over the past 2,000-3,000 years is fundamentally about control, and all of the stories are based in it. And this time of reckoning, therefore, has everything to do with control because you have been under the spell of control for so long. And again, that is why we say celebrate these times, because you think that all of a sudden things are so bad when really it's been this bad the whole time. And some of you were just privileged enough to pretend otherwise. And now you are not.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much for that clarity.
Yes.
Yes. Even you talking about it has had some clearing and some deep emotions coming up. So thank you.
Yes, thanks to you as well. And again, we affirm to all that parasites and toxic energies become much worse right before they die off. And collectively, that is what is taking place. The control that has been a part of your society for millennia is now having its last battle, so to speak. And you decide to join the side of freedom and love and the understanding of true choice to end the false delusion of control. Or of this toxic control, remember, because the positive surrender implies that you take control, but of yourself, not of the things that you cannot control.
Josh, did you already ask? It was the queue. I was in the queue, but I think Josh didn't ask yet.
Well, Bassiani didn't ask it too. So you first.
Thank you, Josh. Hello, Pleiadian Council.
Hello, welcome.
Thank you. So, an hour after last transmission, I got kicked out. I don't know if you remember, we talked about this
yes
in the beginning. So it happened, and I have 4 months before, I can stay 4 months before moving. And can you hear me?
Why are you laughing?
Because there's this high sound behind. I think
all
it's
right.
on your end. Okay. And what came up to me strongly is that I had this longing to travel, and I dropped this when the COVID came, but now it comes back again. And funny enough, I'm also drawn to Mexico or Costa Rica.
All right.
So the two things, you know, the whole, everything is so uncertain, and I cannot really sense if it's wiser for me to keep my stuff instead of going through this whole process of letting go of everything and travel with just a few things, or let my stuff stay here at some friends and come back maybe later. I really don't know.
Can you find a place to store it for free?
Yeah, I think so.
If you can do that, then do that.
Yeah. And I have promised at my work I'm taking care of a beautiful artistic boy every day since 2 years, and I've promised to stay at work, at this work, until he moves out to how do you call it? A new place.
Yes.
But it just keeps on being postponed, and I'm in this dilemma of following my excitement and keeping my promise.
Well, also understand that now when they are breaking their word, you also have the right by agreement to change your word. So you can make a deadline. You can say, okay, well, if you postpone the move again, I'm still going to do what I'm going to do.
Yeah, the thing is, it's not in their hands. They are looking for a, how do you call it, a place for him to move out of home from his parents, and it just takes
All
time.
right. We understand. Though
Yeah.
you also can be free knowing that while it may challenge them, they can find somebody else. They can find other solutions.
Yes.
Because again, well, we are all here to serve. If something robs you of your joy and passion, then what would the point of that be? If you can still find that you are fully acting on your highest excitement here, then it does not matter. But if you feel as if this is no longer your highest excitement, then allow yourself to be free to make the shift.
Yes. I have to tune more into that. And Mexico or Costa Rica, do you have?
Whichever one of them calls to you most. You can always explore both of them. They're not that far away.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Thank you.
Oh, thanks to you.
Hello, Great Council. How are you
Hello.
feeling?
Oh, we are fantastic.
Awesome. I'd have a bit of amusing, but also a question in regards to something that kind of happened recently.
All right.
We had previously spoken about the difference between following one's passion with the full aspect of the excitement and the goosebumps, and that prior matrix of putting everyone else first instead of one's own passion.
Yes.
And something happened where there was an interesting and odd blend between the two, where yes, I was receiving this whole download of information and potentially being sent towards being a whistleblower, but there was also a mix between making it fun, making it passionate, and making it exciting, while not necessarily, always focusing on the bad in a sense. And I was wondering in particular how not to fall into what some would call the Orion Black League's mistake when it came time to face, let's say, quote unquote, the oppression, in the aspect of seeing an opposition instead of being in this steady place of love and compassion, but speaking one's truth.
It comes with this fundamental remembrance that the illusion is that you are not free. Freedom is fundamental. You will always have the freedom to choose. And well, you may lament that certain rights are denied to you. Freedom itself cannot and has not yet been taken from. And so when you understand this, a greater force of love awakens within you. And when you fully understand that the message you are sharing is therefore to inspire love in others, and there is no fear inherent in it, because you yourself have dropped all of the fear of what is happening, and you instead see it as a show of smoke and mirrors, and you find it amusing. That amusement, that pleasure, that funniness can come about in your message, and you cannot be stopped. And as well, There's no negative vibration you communicate in any way. So look at different commentators that have that trickster energy of always finding amusement in even the darkest situations they report upon. Let them inspire within you that same frequency. Let the frequency with which we share be replicated with your frequency. For we tell it like it is to you, yet we always remind you that this is a revolution of love. So there's nothing to fear. Can you do the same?
Wow, yes. That comes in correlation with what a friend told me. He was able to see spirits and told me that there was this golden dragon with a jester energy just circling at such a high pace and frequency around my lower chakra. I wasn't too sure, yet it all becomes more clear in this aspect of being playful about it, being funny, but you know, the fear is no longer there. It's also much more evident now. Wow, thank you.
Oh yes, thanks to you as well. What time is it?
It's it's a 45.
45 minutes past.
No, it's a 54 past.
Oh, all right. So it has been almost 2 hours then.
We started
All
late
right.
today, but I don't know what time the channel
All
was.
right, all right, all right. So let us take any questions from people who have not yet asked any question, or questions from the chat. And yes, Christina can ask one more question as well. But in that order.
Happy New Year, dear Pleiadians. This is George.
Happy New Year to you as well, yes.
As always, so grateful for your guidance and perspective on things. And in the past month, I've been guided to work with the I Ching,
yes,
which is such a beautiful oracle. And I was just curious if you could maybe speak about your connections with the original creation of the I Ching, and if you have any specific suggestions about how I can work with this sacred instrument, both to first for my own self and my own life, and then how I can expand to, I would really like to be able, you know, to help others, but I recognize that working with, you know, my own situation first is the order of things. Thank you.
Yes. In terms of the origins, well, there was some transmission, you could say, from us and from Arcturian beings as the initial sages received the information upon this, though they didn't necessarily perceive all of that presence. Understand, again, every sort of download is very multidimensional, and we witness these great changes and revolutions in your consciousness as our worlds are intertwined. So we weren't, in a sense, catalytic in the process, we simply observed it. And this I Ching is a very helpful tool in coming to bring yourself more fully in the present, and it reflects, as all of the oracles do, all of the present dynamics playing out. The changes between changing and unchanging and yin and yang lines is a very interesting perspective, and you can also see this manifesting as you in your own lives go through these active and passive stages. At some points you are yin, at some points you are yang, and you can start to see that every event, every phenomena is or can be divided into these 6 stages. There is the first half, the latter half, and these different phases within it. Everything is always changing. It takes these different tones and octaves to move through this frequency. You can use this oracle every single day if you would like to look at the energy present and alive within you at this time. And of course, as you read the Book of Changes for others as well, you will gain the ability to be able to have insight into it as well. You can look at as many different interpretations of it and study if you would like, and know that it is something that you will deepen with understanding more and more of with time as it excites you.
Thank you so much. The translation or the version that was given to, that came to me, is the Brian Brown Walker. And I'm curious, because I'm sure there's many others available. Is there one in particular that I might seek out, or is it sufficient to be more passive and allow whatever other versions to come to me at their own time?
Well, the
Thank
best
you.
results will happen if you seek out all of the potential translations out there and give it some time to ruminate upon it and continue working with the one that you have until you're rather bored with it. And as you become acquainted with all of the possibilities, once you feel satiated with the one that you're currently working with, you can choose which one serves you the most based on your feeling of passion and interest.
Thank you again, and much love to you all.
Oh, gratitude and love to you as well.
So if there are no other questions from people here, I'm gonna read a question on the YouTube chat.
All right.
What could we do to help heal the energy of the conflict between Atlantis and Lemura?
Well, this energy again has everything to do with the conflict between those who seek to control and those who seek freedom. So everything you're doing in this time to preserve your rights and to wake others up out of the delusion of their safety and control will inspire this grand healing of the karma of those times. Remember that the Atlanteans destroyed Lemuria because the Lemurians blocked their ability to control the world. The Atlanteans sought to influence and control those other developing indigenous people of the world, and the Lemurians had the power to stop that from taking place. Therefore, they sought to destroy Lemuria in order to have that sort of a conquest, but their plan backfired. So this same energy dynamic plays out in your world. And you can know that the tables are turning and that they cannot, in a sense, sink a continent anymore. They cannot take so much power that they stop you from speaking your truth. Be inspired by the Lemurians who sung until the water came to their mouths as their continent sank, and sing your song of joy regardless of what happens around you, and let that be the inspiration to others that they may become free. It is as well now this balancing of the inner masculine and feminine polarities. Understand that the Lemurians were the feminine polarity, and it is the feminine polarity that has been repressed and attacked and destroyed in so many ways in your world. And so now it is the time for you to embody that. What does that mean? It does, yes, translate to the liberation of women around your world. And it also translates inside of you as the liberation of the feminine principle, which connects with the heart. The heart, again, being the barometer through which you understand your passion. Acting upon the formula itself is the remedy to healing this imbalance between the masculine and feminine polarities, because the conditioning in your world is so much that you are taught to not listen to your heart, and you are taught to see and interpret reality only through your logical mind. It is when you break that pattern and instead drop deeply into your heart and listen to it that the feminine principle comes alive within you.
Okay, there's one more question in the YouTube chat.
Yes.
What is the best way to attract or find soul family tribe?
Again, it is acting on your passion. It is following the formula and living in accordance with what fills you with love, joy, and excitement, because those people in your soul family will share similar love, joys, and excitements. And so when you do that, you will come into greater resonance with them. And some of you have a path that has many different avenues, and there are many different things that fill you with love, joy, and passion. So you will have many different clusters to your soul family. Not all of them will intersect, and that can be okay too. But again, remember what we have said in the beginning, that if you keep people in your life that do not really match your frequency, you don't feel passion when you're around them, you can't talk about the things that you're passionate with around them, you placate to them and you give your power away to them, you cannot still find your soul family and hang out with those people at the same time, because unfortunately in your physical reality you have limited time and space. But the fortunate part about that is that it makes it all the more important for you to choose those people that you do connect with, because you only have so much time, space, and attention. Clear out the old to make way for the new. Some of you may have to do that. And if you didn't get that, and if you want to hear more about that, listen to the first part of this transmission, our opening message.
Thank you. One last question. I'm also curious about your thoughts regarding the energy of the new mayor of New York City.
There are positives and there are negatives in place here. By and large, he is representing this controlling energy that we have spoken about. And so while there are different things that will change for the positive, for the most part, he is there because the people are wanting a bit more of this controlling energy. And that is the frequency that you might continue to see more of.
Thank you.
Is that all then?
There are no more written questions.
All right. Then let us close. Final meditation. Bring yourself into your heart center and close your eyes, taking deep breaths in and out. Bringing yourself fully into your body and into the present moment. Seeing brilliant, immense roots of light grow from your heart down and out through the base of your spine, out through the soles of your feet, into the earth. See them weaving around the roots of the other trees and plants, weaving through and around the crystals, minerals, and metals in the earth, traveling all the way down through all of the underground lava or magma and water to the center of the earth, the crystal core. Pull up this energy from the core of the earth. Feel it rippling rapidly up into your body, traversing through these roots, entering your body. Moving through your feet and up through your legs, up through your seat, and filling your entire body. See now a great crystal chamber of light surrounding your body, traveling all the way up to the center of the galaxy. See that brilliant supermassive black hole, radiating immense, beautiful energy that travels down through many stars, the Galactic Alliance, and beyond, through your own sun, sending waves of many rays of light into your crown chakra and traversing down your body, lighting up every cell, enlivening you, establishing that clear connection, the source into the earth. Oh. We invite you now to see a beautiful path forming in the forest. Feel yourself walking through this beautiful natural place. Continue moving until you can find a soft flowing stream surrounded by great trees. Know that around you there are many elemental spirits, fairies, perhaps as you've called them, but of many, many sorts of being. Nature spirits, the spirits the trees, the water, the rocks. It is this connection that has been most forgotten in your world, and it is this connection that will help your planet move into this greater remembrance of the interconnection of all things that can allow you to have a deeper and more complete trust. As you gaze upon the stream and look in these surroundings, invite these spirits in. Maybe they manifest very clearly, or maybe you see them only on the periphery, or maybe you only feel their presence. We invite you to ask the question to the nature spirits now. What do I need to know or do to live in greater connection with you? What is your message for me? And perhaps these nature spirits give you insight of a place to go, or something to do, or some way that you can make their presence known to them, and you can invite in a clear relationship together. Perhaps there's a gift they want from you, an offering of some sort. Listen very clearly to their message. Take it into your heart, and thank them for their support. So you now come to prepare yourself to return to this time and space, slowly by slowly opening your eyes, stepping into your surroundings, knowing that this gift, this message will help you deepen into yourself and deepen into connection with all of the magic and wonder that is around you. Our great love and thanks to all of you for co-creating this interaction. We are always with you, as are your own guides. And we thank you very much for allowing this interaction and this beautiful sharing of energies to take place. Our love and our thanks, and we will look forward to connecting with you in other ways, whenever you wish. All right.
Thank you, Dante.
You're welcome.
Yo, thank you. It was awesome.
Very welcome. Thanks for being
Beautiful,
present,
Dante. Thank
everybody.
you so much.
Thank you.
Dante.
Welcome.
Amazing meditation.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thanks for being here, everybody. Yeah. So, quick reminders is next week will be the private transmission again on Friday. You can register sending a $22 to $33 donation, and I will send you the link. Again, I'm taking the break from doing private sessions for the next couple of weeks, and I might take a break from this as well. It just depends. Maybe if I get enough donations, I'll be so motivated to not take a break from the public session, but it does take a lot of energy that I want to focus into finishing the book. So yeah, I think those are all the things. How's everybody feeling?
Oh, better, thank you. Yeah.
Good, good, good.
Grateful.
Yay. Magical life. magical reality. Mm-hmm. Hot.
I look forward to meet you in Mexico, Dante.
Oh, good. That'll be fun.
Yeah, that would be fun.
I hope I'm still here.
We're almost half of us who will meet in Mexico.
Right? I'm having to work on my residency, and it's really unclear what to do. Otherwise, I'm an illegal immigrant, and I don't really like that. But it could be possible to be an illegal immigrant. I mean, it's not going to be that much of a big deal. All that will happen is if you find the cops someday, you just have to give them some money. But it also just causes a problem if I ever want to leave and come back.
Yes.
That is my real concern, not being deported. But anyway, I think I can get the residency.
Hope you can.
Visualize my residency.
Yeah. I see you happy and grateful.
Necesito green card.
And I forgot to ask, but the Pleiadians mentioned, I think it was to Mahalo, that there's some great, both some challenges and really good parts on being in Mexico. What are the challenges?
Oh, Mexico is just crazy. Like, you hear how loud it is sometimes. You've heard how loud it is sometimes in just like random places. It's always chaotic. Like, there's a word, ahorita. Ahorita means like in a little bit. And in a little bit can mean anywhere from 15 minutes to like an hour or two, or never. So things are just like in this very like weird time loop.
So a bit like in India.
And some people people don't know how to handle. It's not as bad as India. It's it's like India light for sure. Yeah. But yeah.
Okay. And even in the more remote places, like in the countryside, it's noisy.
Of course, everything is always loud.
Yeah.
They love loud. They love loud so much. They love fireworks. They love loud music in their churches. They love like having cars go by with big speakers announcing that they're selling things. Yeah, all is loud. Oh, and street dogs, very fun too. And dirty, of course, it's dirty. Not like India dirty though. I swear it's not like India dirty. But if you can handle India, you can handle Mexico.
Okay.
But don't bring your princess vibes here because it's not gonna work.
Don't bring what?
Princess energy.
And what about doctors and hospital if you get sick, or dentist, or how is it?
I mean, that's always questionable.
Well, but doesn't it depend very much on the region? As far as I know, there are some paradise places and some.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, but wherever you go, like the doctor might take a while, or the doctor might like, I don't know, like there can be great dentists and doctors and there can be horrible ones, like anywhere. You just have to like listen, But I mean, a lot of people just come here for like a dental vacation because it's so much cheaper than in the States or Canada. I mean, if you add in the flight, maybe it doesn't end up being cheaper from Europe, but it's so much cheaper to just do it here. And if you find a good connection, of which there's many, you can like come on a dental vacation here. It's common, actually. So yeah, all is possible. Todo es posible. That's the next question.
I would love to find a conscious community there.
Mazunte has like the kind of like rainbow gathering kind of, and it's that, and it's also like there's yoga centers and stuff, but it's like is also, I don't know, and there's a lot of families going on trips there. Mazunte is very, and there's like tantra teachers, yoga schools, so it's always attracting the conscious people. And Mazunte is like 10 minutes from where I live, and I go there pretty often. Yeah, and even Puerto Escondido, not far from here, has some of the conscious community, but it's more like the like bougie conscious community people in Puerto Escondido. But it's all good, and like, I don't know, like if you have the right connection with some time in like the cities on the coast here in this region, I know you can get places for like $150 or $200 rent for the entire month. And I pay $300 a month here, and this is expensive gringo price. And I pay it just because it was so crowded and I didn't have other options. But if I didn't pay this month, I would move to something a lot better. But it's what happened. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Mexico is not that hard.
It's not one?
Not that hard. It's like I had a thought the other day. If I get my residency, I'm going to like make this special package that's only available in person called Get Out of the Matrix package, and tell people, you know, if you're sick with your life in the Western world and the crazy apocalypse of all of what's happening, let me just teach you how to like step out of all of that and be your own person here in Mexico in person rather than something else. So if I get my residency, you can come and I will teach you how to get out of the matrix for real. Like literally.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
And you want to start a center at some point?
I don't think of the future like this anymore. I'm just like, I want my residency, and then I want my land, and then I want to build my land. But I don't even know if I want the land. Like, I think if I get my residency, I'll just like travel around all of Mexico and then get to know the place because I don't have to leave. Because also in the south of Mexico and most of Mexico gets way, way too hot in the summertime. But you can then escape into the mountains in the summertime where it is not hot. It's like average, it's like pretty manageable. So you can have any climate, you want here too.
But then in the mountain it's rainy or it's not hot?
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. In the summer it's always raining.
Okay.
But it's not like raining all day. I mean, you'll have weeks of it raining all day or a couple days where it does that, but it's not all the time like that. That's what I can say about Mexico.
Great. Thank you for sharing, and
you're welcome.
see you next week.
Maybe, like I said, maybe.
Oh yeah. Right.
I'll decide earlier in the week if it's gonna fit me.
Can you please undo?
The host.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody. Good night and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Bye. Sweet dreams.
Bye.
Sweet night.
Thank you.
Well, all of it is going to be interesting, huh? Quite a roller coaster.
Life is really interesting, yeah. It's quite the journey.
Yeah. And yeah, truth is stranger than fiction.
Indeed it is. You guys seem real chill. Many thank you. Thanks to you guys as well. You can always support these transmissions by sharing the video, post it on your feed, on all your feeds, tell all your friends, wake people up. Let the aliens talk to everybody. That's what they want. Okay, I guess we're gonna go away now. You guys seem
Okay,
very
bye.
chill.
Good night or good
Bye,
day.
thank you. Good
Bye,
day,
love.
many blessings. Enjoy the journey. Have a
Thank you.
fantastic time, and I'll see you all next time. If you
Thank you.
want.
Bye.